Yes, we can go live. Go live.
Tearing up the house already.
Here's for you, man.
Okay,
Oh
we
yeah.
can go live. Let's see here. Can we go live? Now I want to
It
add.
says live. It's 24, 25 seconds.
Yeah, we're gonna go live. Let's go live right now. Okay. All right. We're live right now and we are ready to go. Let's get the show on the road. Let's see here who we're dealing with here today. There we go. Knowledge is Power podcast hosted by your guy here, Tony Renfro. And we are a community-wide information forum. And my special guest tonight is some of the Honda boys, Honda guys that my co-workers that's working with, that I work with, look at every day with. They're joining us today, and we're going to help you with your car buying experience. And if you never bought a car before, let me tell you, the car buying technology, the car buying experience is one of the experiences that you would like to experience. It changes. The philosophy of car buying changes daily, monthly, weekly, year. Um, and I hear a lot of people say, "Wait, I want to buy a car, but I know how to buy a car. I've been buying cars for 20 years." No, you do not know how to buy a car. Let me tell you something. If we were to be laid off for 6 months and come back to work, the car buying experience would be a totally different for us just to sell your vehicle. It has changed so much. Car buying has changed so much. But I've got my guys here. Um, we're going to talk about how to buy a car, when to buy a car, truck, SUV. We're going to talk a lot of little things about uh, uh, buying and versus leasing. And a lot of you guys want to know about buying and versus leasing. What is lease? That's an old saying about leases not good. But let me tell you something. The leases have changed. They have upgraded. It's what some of the best thing for us to do in today's market because the cars are getting so expensive. So we're going to talk about appreciation, depreciation, used cars, when to buy a used car, or what not to buy a used car. So with me today, I have my co-workers with me, Anthony Wiltz with the sales manager of Mike Smith Honda, and I have Dustin Harris. I call him Dust Bowl. I mean, I know I get tired of me messing with him, but that's his name for me. And we see each other every day. We work together every day. We're one of the best guys to work with, and it has been a great experience for me to be working with these guys. But we're here on Knowledge is Power. We are on here every Sundays and Tuesday evening just to educate the people, educate our community, educate the African American community here in Southeast Texas. And this show belongs to you. You're the voice of this show. Whenever you like to join us on the show, DM me, call me, text me, and we will get you on here, and we're gonna go at it. And tonight, let's see here. One of my first questions I want to ask, because I'm gonna act like I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I wish y'all going to say you probably don't. But I'm going to ask questions, and I'm going to have comments from the audience. I mean, from the viewers. They can ask questions. But we are live, and we are getting at it today. And I was just trying to chatter and kiki a little bit, so I can get more viewers on this on the that's watching tonight. So with that, my question is going to be to my two guys. I'm going to answer a few for you too. But what um, buying a vehicle is one of the second most expensive investment a person going to make. The first one is a home. The second one is a car or automobile. My guys here, we do this every day, and some of the things we can answer by just waking up and just answer those questions. But what makes it feel so good to want to just go to work and just to be in this type of business? Uh, uh,
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean,
for me,
it doesn't matter. I'm just talking now because I'm gonna answer that question too. So I'm asking Anthony Wilson, my sales manager. Why do you? I mean, just I know some of the answers, but I want to hear from you guys. Why it's so exciting to go to work every day and do what we do? I mean, I love what I do.
Yeah, I do as well. And for me, it's more of helping people first and foremost, because like you just said, buying a car is the second most expensive investment that people are going to make, and figuring out ways to do that and ways to make a vehicle fit into somebody's budget. And my biggest joy is whenever someone comes in and they've been having it rough, and you're able to help that person to build their financial life, to get back and forth, to get to work, provide for their families, and take care of all of the things that they need to take care of, and also figuring out the nuances in the car business. Like you said, it's a daily thing. Car buying has changed substantially from last year to this year, coming from last year to the coronavirus protocol. A lot has changed. We've changed the way that we do business, and those nuances, those challenges, they are something that excites me every day. But first and foremost, helping the people.
Chuck, was you going to chime in on that, Dustin?
That's basically the nuance of it itself. Like, you come to work every day, you're trying to find some way to get people in the vehicle that, sometimes it's a long shot. It ain't meant to happen, but you get it going anyway. And if you do, that changes everything about them financially.
Absolutely, and finding ways to do that. That's it. The second most exciting thing about the job is because being that, on this side of it, doing finance and desking the deal, looking at the financial portfolio and trying to land that customer on the right car. Y'all take care of that preliminarily, but getting the deal done and convincing one of the buyers to buy that deal. That's an exciting part, and it can be challenging as well, as y'all see every day. I learn from both of y'all every day, and I mean, there's a synergy. We feed off of one another.
Well, I'm sure that's a lot of feeding coming in on me. I enjoy so much that I get excited. I get too excited sometimes. But the part I like the most is when I know I've done my best for a person and they drive off happy. They're excited. They got the car they like. It's just a thrill, and it's a high. When you get, you say, boy, I sold 4 cars today. I sold 5 cars today. And you get home, it's like, man, I'm not tired. It's a different type of tiredness. It's a different type of tiredness. You act anxious, you're excited, and then but I always say this, the best time to sell a car is when you just finish selling one.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
And I believe in that. And today, and I'm doing the same thing I did 42 years ago today. It's nothing changed. I know I'm a little loud. I'm outgoing, and I know I love the BS all the time, but that's just my nature. And I enjoy it, and y'all allow me to be myself, and that's the key to success, and that's the most important thing. So let's talk about buying cars right now. Let's talk about what it takes to purchase a vehicle. What type of credit are you looking for? One thing I say this, that we do for a fact at Mike Smith Hunter. Yes, guys, we have we have we call full spectrum financing through American Honda Financial, which we have an advantage over a lot of dealerships that don't have that. I mean, we have a lot of dealership that has subprime, super subprime, but I also want the audience to know that people has this thing in the back of their mind that they cannot buy a Honda because you got to have excellent credit, which I wish you do have excellent credit, but we're a full spectrum dealership. Tier A to tier
14.
G, but we've got the financing available. Most people say, well, cut themselves short because they think they cannot buy a car and take what they want to take, or just accept what they can purchase.
Yes,
that's not true.
One of the reasons. one of the reasons for that is Honda used to be that way. They after probably 2010, they stopped doing a lot of their subprime and even near prime stuff. They went to like 650 and above. Well, after fighting and fighting and fighting and scratching and clawing, you know how Chris does, you know how I do. They started opening up a little bit, and once they started opening up, it started helping more people. And things started getting better, and eventually they became full spectrum. Now you're able to get a brand new car, and Honda has a program now that's called In Good Standing. And when you're in good standing, once you make 12 perfect payments to Honda, you take care of Honda. Honda takes care of you. So being in good standing is paramount. So starting somebody off good, starting them off with a good car, starting them off with a good interest rate and a good payment. And once you take care of that, Honda takes care of you. And in addition to your credit score going up. And that's going to open up a whole bunch of different avenues for you. Whenever it comes down to not only buying a car, getting credit cards, and buying a house, because installment credit is a lot different from revolving credit. Car buying is installment credit. You're making monthly installments like you do on a house. Once you do that, you establish that really well, and you budget for a house, it puts you in a great position to purchase a home.
You are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And that's always wanted to tell everyone to know that not only are you buying a car from us, and y'all seen some of my shows before, you know, because a lot of my shows are about financing and personal financing and how to establish credit, how to establish your lifestyle. But buying a vehicle, not only purchase your vehicle, but you also are able to establish credit down the road. And you can then buy a house. You can show that you're stable enough to purchase a vehicle. And like you said earlier, that the Honda has a 12-month good grace, good standard that when you purchase a home, I mean, not purchase a home, but you finance a vehicle and you buying it, and after you make your 12 months payment, now you're in good standing with Honda without being late. So that helps you, and that's one of my tales. I tell all the time: take care of Honda, and they'll take care of you.
They take care of you, yeah. And that's a direct correlation to credit. Whenever you make your payments on time, you get in the habit of making your payments on time, then you're good to go. That makes your credit score go up. Now, even if you have credit challenges, you come in and you have purchased a vehicle before, and things kind of went bad on that previous vehicle, and we end up getting you approved. You continuously make your payments on time, and you get into that habit of making your payments on time, it's going to help you. It's going to help you to be able to get a higher credit score. So that way you can afford more things. And the key is affordability. Don't bite off more than you can chew. But whenever you bite off that proper amount and you take care of it, it's going to take care of you. So by being in good standing and your credit score going up on all three bureaus is going to be paramount.
Right. And, you know, and here's another thing, and I like to talk about this too, because I want people to stop thinking just because their credit is not super good, but
bad credit, no credit, low credit. Come on in.
And then they think about, well, I need to buy me a little $10,000 used vehicle or a $12,000 used vehicle. But explain that, Dustin, what you get into when you do that versus buying a $22,000 new car. Oh, you there? Can you hear me, Dustin?
He froze up.
He froze up.
I think so.
Well, Anthony, maybe you can answer that question.
All right. Well, a number of things happen. Whenever you get a $10,000, $12,000 car, in most cases, that car is going to have high miles, which is a lot harder to get financed. And whenever you get a car that's hard to get financed, even if you get financed on that car is going to outlast your loan. So if you finance it for 5 years and it has 150,000 miles on it, it's a $10,000 vehicle, you pay $200, $250 a month. With that $200, $250 a month that you're going to be paying for 5 years, a car may last you 3 years, 3.5 years, or even 4. Now, you have a decision to make. You have to come in with a vehicle that you still owe money on, that is either not running on its last leg. So that puts you in a situation where you're upside down. And in most cases, depending on where you get it from, you didn't really establish credit if you got it from, a lot that does not report to your credit bureau. So now you paid for a car, or you're paying for a car that is on the verge of breaking. You're upside down in, and you still don't have anything to show for it. You don't have anything on your credit showing that you have paid monthly payments on this car. So it's like you're not starting from zero. You're starting from sub-zero, because you're carrying in negative equity on a vehicle that is not even on your credit bureau, which adds to the amount of the next vehicle. So it's a really, really tough catch to be in. We see it all the time, and unfortunately, even if we tell people beforehand, they come in, I want a $10,000 vehicle. Well, we give them this scenario, and they're not receptive to it. In a couple of years, usually we see them again, and exactly what I said happens. They are upside down in a vehicle that they have nothing on their credit to show for it, and the car's on their last leg. So if you're $2,000 upside down on a $10,000 car, the $2,000 that you put down just brings you to zero.
Right. And that's that. I'm glad you explained that to the audience. Man, that is very important. Again, folks, we're here to. We'd like to sell your vehicle, but we're here to explain to you some of the scenarios that we see every day that get you in trouble, and we want to help you to take advantage of the experience that we have to give you in the right vehicle at the right time. Now, let me tell you something. You can buy whatever you want to buy. You can go buy your a tractor. It doesn't matter. But I want to make sure you understand that we're not here just to sell you our product, which I'd like for you to do that. But we want you to understand that we want you to make the right decisions, the best decisions. People ask me all the time, what is your best vehicle? The best vehicle, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a Honda. But, that's another vehicle that we do not sell that has a great resale value, that holds up and has a good market, and that's a Toyota. Yes. So those cars that I would suggest to anybody that's looking to make a good investment on an automobile, because an automobile is depreciate just like anything else. They say, well, I've grown this. I want to go buy me a BMW or a Mercedes. They don't depreciate. Oh, yes, they do.
They actually depreciate a lot more than, or a higher percentage than these non-luxury cars.
Right.
And like you were saying earlier, you just alluded to that. I never tell anybody how to spend their money, because it's not my money.
Right.
I'm here to help, to point you in the right direction. I have a product that has really good retail value, and that's something that's hard to see in the now, but later on you see the benefits of it. But I never tell anybody how to spend their money. If I can help, I can help. But in a lot of cases, like I said before, usually once I see you again, some people will say, yeah, you were right. But that's neither here nor there. We're here to help, and we're going to help.
Yes, and that's what we do. We try to give you put you in the best situation, because I don't want to see you 6 years later. I want to see you in the next 3 years. I want to put you in a position for the next 3 years, because, guys, let me tell you, we have seen people come in that's $20,000 upside down. Yeah. The person sold you a car, sold you a car, and that's all they did. They didn't care nothing enough to you, but take your money. And
that's it.
That's it. Not do it. Has to put you in a good position at business, have a relationship with one another, and have a great buying experience. So we won't put you in an upside down situation. Now you're going to be upside down.
Yeah.
You're in a situation where you're out of it. Like anything else. So, and I think that's backwards. I got a lot of background noise back there. Tell I say be quiet so I can hear.
So that's why I had to get off the laptop. It stopped working because they hit something and it
Yeah.
went haywire.
Well, boy, I tell you, you go ahead, you a nursery over that house. Hey,
Uh,
speaking of
now,
nursery,
go ahead.
speaking of nursery, let's talk about my favorite subject: first time buyers.
Yeah.
Now, everybody has first time buyers.
Hmm.
Not everybody has a first time buyer. They say they do, but they don't have one. And that's two things that qualify for a first time buyer. That's being a first time buyer means you never purchased a vehicle before. The other is that you have credit, a revolving credit, small credit, or just no credit at all. That's first time buyer. Um, you can have credit but never purchase a vehicle. Now, for many years, I sold vehicles, and the companies that I owned, that we sold vehicles, and we thought we had a first time buyer plan, but we really didn't. And let me tell you why. Because we was putting first time buyers in cars with an interest rate of 18% plus interest, and we didn't put those people in the right position because we did not have lenders that would take a first time buyer and give them the right rates. So I
Yeah.
want to educate the viewers today is that if you are in a position and you are in a situation that you are a first time buyer, look into us first because we do have a true first time buyer where you're not paying 18 to 24% interest on a vehicle.
Yeah.
Dustin, tell me just just an example you do your
With me, first time buyers, I just try to give them the whole financial breakdown of what we about to do. That way they go into it knowing instead of just, oh, I'm about to get a car, I'm about to get a car. Look, there's a process to this. This ain't gonna be your forever vehicle. It's gonna be give me a year, give me a year and a half, give me 2 years, and then I can move you to that other one. So everybody wanna come to the lot, get the most expensive thing out there, but you gotta realize you have to start somewhere. Everybody had to start somewhere. So if you're a first time buyer, you probably gonna start on a lower model. But look, come on over. We probably gonna either put you on that Civic LX to get you rolling, probably a lease,
Right.
maybe a purchase.
Right.
But you got
Yeah.
to get on what you got to get on. It's not like it's a bad knock on you. It's just you haven't established credit yet, so you have to do it somewhere. Somebody has to give you your first shot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a starting point. It's a starting point.
You
And
got
like Dustin was saying, um, with it's not a matter of just what you want, it's a matter of what you need, what's best for
Uh-huh.
you. So that's why, like with the first time buyers program, both of you can attest to this, is that most of the time it's not going to be your a long-term vehicle because most people's buying cycles are like 3 years. So
Yep.
why not lease the car for 3 years and not be upside down at the end of that term, as opposed to, like Tony was saying, paying 18% for 6 years and you're not going to keep the car 6 years.
it won't
So
last. It won't last for 6 years.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But just say let's use this on a brand new car, get them approved. Um, we have the 72-month or we have the 36-month lease. Usually on the 36-month lease, your payment is what, $70, $80 less on a vehicle that you're going to keep for 3 years anyway. But the perception of buying a car versus leasing a car, people have a misconception that you will never own the car. Well, you don't own the car that you finance until you make that 72nd payment. So why put yourself in a situation where you're going to be upside down by purchasing a vehicle at a high interest rate, which most of the money is going to go towards interest as opposed to the money going towards the principal. If you have a vehicle that you're going to keep for a long time, it's not going to be your first car. It will never be your first car.
Hmm. I'm sorry, that was me. Hit the wrong button.
Oh yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. But that's what I was actually speaking to one of my children about. Is whenever you do want to finance a vehicle, that's not a vehicle that you're going to keep for the rest of your life. is something that you're going to keep for a few years until you can afford something else, if you choose to afford something else. But especially being a young person, I know a lot of young people like to go. But keeping yourself focused financially, first and foremost, is going to be the key to your long-term success. And by leasing a car, especially as a first-time buyer, and knowing that you're not going to keep that car for the long term, that's going to be the, in my opinion, one of the better ways to go. You're saving money, and you're not going to be upside down at the end of the term. So usually, like you were saying earlier, Tony, if you finance it for a longer period of time, and usually a little upside down. With a lease, at the end of the lease term, you're not upside down because you made 36 payments, and that's the agreement. As long as you stay within those miles.
Yeah, I lease about 65% of the people that walks in the door to see me. 65% people, 65% of the people that comes and work with me are in leases. Don't think something's wrong with it. That is great, because
that is amazing. That's a great one.
You're paying less money. You're paying less money on a vehicle, and you're not going to be upside down in 3 years. It takes exactly, if you bought a vehicle, we talked about buying versus lease now, and I guess we moved into that conversation. But
I'm sorry, I accelerated.
Transition.
That's okay. But if you're buying a vehicle versus a leasing one, now we bought this car at the same time. I'm going to make an example. I leased my car. You bought your car. You bought it on 72. Excuse me. You bought it on 72 months, and I paid for mine on 36 months. My payment is going to be $100 to $160 less than yours. Okay, and I'm only going to be in it for 3 years. That's 36 months. You're going to be in yours for 6 years. That's 72 months. Now, I have paid down on my car because I leased it. And in 36 months, I'm out. I'm done. Zero. Okay. Now, you still paying interest on that vehicle that you're buying. That's the difference. Now, you're going to be paying, it takes about 52 payments to start paying on fully paying on the vehicle. And because those first 52 months went towards interest. And that's when you say, wow, man, I've been having this car for 5 years. I paid $25,000 for it, and I still owe 16 because you've been paying on the interest. And this will get you upside down. And then you get that car buying fever. And, I got that new car coming out. I got to have that new SUV. Then you're going to take that upside down situation again, and you're going
to make it worse.
Next vehicle. Whoo, you're gonna need an FHA loan. Well, it's just the truth,
It is. Hey, Tony.
And you're upside down 2 times. And then you're talking about, boy, they took me for a loop. Then you're gonna, but this is what happens, and this is the reason why we're here on Knowledge is Power. Knowledge is power,
Absolutely, and it's a matter of what you do with it.
Right,
now,
how you do with it, yeah.
And explain principal versus interest.
Yes.
For the people that that don't know, so for a lot of our first time buyers. Principal versus interest. Okay, interest is the percentage that they're going to charge you for borrowing their money. That's interest. Principal is the amount of the car. So say you buy a $20,000 car and you have a 5% interest rate. Even at a 5% interest rate, a lot of your money is going to be going towards the principal at the beginning of your loan. So as you pay down, like Tony was saying earlier, you're going to start chipping away at that principal amount. The amount that you really want to chip away at is that principal. Because think about it this way. If you have just starting a loan at $25,000 or $20,000, 5% of $20,000 in the beginning versus 5% of, say, $18,000, a year and a half later, you're paying less interest a year and a half later because the principal amount is going down. You want to pay a little bit of interest because you're going to pay interest. You want to pay a minuscule amount of interest, but you want a lot more going towards principal. So that's the way that'll work. And if you have a higher interest rate, less money is going towards principal. The same amount of time is passing. So whenever you come back in with that car, because you're not making those principal reduction payments, you're upside down.
Dustin, you like to chime in on that?
Yeah, I like to tell people in my desk, look at it this way. You don't own the car regardless, either way. Because people are like, well, I don't own it if I don't buy it. Well, miss that 59th payment, miss that 71st payment, and watch them come take that car out your yard. So you just got to let go of that, oh, I don't own the car stuff. Because leasing it, you could just buy it afterwards anyway. So therefore, it's a lot easier.
Yes.
But you just got to get rid of that old stigma of leasing itself, because a lot of people are stuck on the old ways of leasing before I even knew what a lease was.
Yes,
but
yeah.
you just got to educate them.
One time.
Yeah, all about educate. Yeah. You know, I always said that the buying. That's what I wanted to say earlier, and I couldn't think of the word I wanted to say. But the buying evolution, the car evolution has changed so much that you all agree.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been changed.
I remember when I retired and I stayed out for about 6 months before I went back to work somewhere, just go somewhere. It changed just that quick, you know. So wait a minute, we didn't do that then, and we didn't have to do that, but we have to do it. So don't come to me and say, "Hey, I know what I'm doing. I've been buying cars all my life." Oh, but anyway,
I love them people.
But if it changed on us and we've got to study, you know, they don't think we have to study. They don't think we have to take tests and they don't think we do that. All we do is sell cars. No, people. We've got to stay on top of it because the car automobile evolution changes. It changes every day.
Yes, and especially with new laws, new policies that come in, even a new administration, there are going to be new compliance deals that we're going to have to meet. So it is always changing. It's always evolving, and it makes it harder on us, but it safeguards. It's more policy going towards. In certain instances that are there for protections.
Right.
We have to continuously do training in order to adhere to those rules, regulations, laws, protocols, and things that are changing with the cars. Y'all know, especially when a new model comes out, there's all kinds of technology differences, body style changes, horsepower changes, torque ratio changes. Got to stay up on it. You got to stay up on it. So,
I got over 200 something trainings on my desk to prove it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's training and studying and training every day, you know.
Yes.
I've been in this business a long time. You guys, these guys.
Yeah, you have since before we were born.
But I always say this. You always hear me say this at times. I learn something every day.
Yeah.
Because when you stop learning every day, that's when you lose. I mean, you can't. I mean, you just hard headed. You can't grow with the evolution. You got to keep growing. You know, you got to keep growing because it changed every day. I see a comment about 72 months. Let me tell you, folks. Let me tell you something. I just make a small example. You looking for a 2012, 14 vehicle. Okay, this is 2020, right? So that's about a 7-year-old vehicle, correct? And you're gonna find that car for 72 months, right? You got a low interest rate at the credit union at 3%. You're still upside down. Yeah, you know.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You stretch the terms so you can have that low payment. I had a customer the other day. Tony, I'm looking for a car, and I want my notes to be. I got $500 down, and I want my notes to be $200 a month. I said, baby, I sold that last car back in 2003. But then this the point. If we do have, you know, and then they say, well, I'm looking for a $10,000 car. Yeah, but the older the vehicle is, the more the rate you pay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. And the shorter the term in most cases. So
Right.
just think about it this way. A 2012 is an 8-year-old car.
Right.
Okay. You're going to finance an 8-year-old car for another 5 years. So by the time you get done, you have a 13-year-old car if it makes it that long. If it's not a really dependable car, and sometimes even if it is a dependable car, it's still you're putting yourself in a bad predicament.
And we don't
Now,
want.
if you want a $10,000 car, get back and forth to work. It's not an everyday driver. It's just something that you're going to keep for 3 years, and you want to just pay cash for something, or just have something like that. Then okay, by all means, we have the cars for that particular purpose. But if it's going to be an everyday driver, I would advise against it.
Mm-hmm. I would.
You better at least get some warranty.
Yes, Lord. And the
If
warranty,
you can, yeah.
and it ain't cheap no more either.
No, well, nothing's cheap.
No.
My definition of cheap versus value, because Honda has some inexpensive cars, but I don't think that they're cheap, because if something's cheap, it'll break easily. It has no solid structure to it.
Right.
Nah.
So let's go with this. I know we have, not to be biased, but we do have a very good product, Hondas. Very good by purchasing, and we don't have service issues and automobile mechanic issues. We don't have. We have them, but we don't have.
They're not on the scale of other places.
Right. Skills. It's just very minor little stuff, and that what makes it so easy for us to sell and to sell cars. But I want to kind of go over this with the viewers too. When you go to a credit union, and the credit union say, "Okay, we're going to approve you for this vehicle, but we're going to give you approval or pre-approval on this vehicle, and we're going to give you 75% of the MSRP, 85% of the retail of that vehicle." You all want to explain to them what type of loan that is, because credit unions are good people. I do business with the credit union, but sometimes they put you in a trick bag here, because they don't want to tell you you're not. They won't approve you because you've been putting your money in their bank. They won't take that. So what they do, they give you what we call a left-handed
turn down.
In other words, they want to be nice to you. Say, okay, we're going to give you approval, but we're only going to finance 85% of this vehicle. So explain to them a little bit what they really, so they won't come and think they got to prove. Ask that credit union, okay, Tim, give me an example why I'm approved for this amount. What it's going to take, folks, and I'm going to tell you now before he gets started. You want at least 100 plus approval, 100 plus approval, and sometimes that 100% approval doesn't work because
you have taxes.
Right. So, guys.
All right. So if you have an say 80%, just to make the math make sense, you have an 80% approval. That means you have to bring 20% to the table. So on say a $10,000 vehicle, they approve you for 80%. So that's $8,000. You have to put $2,000 down. If it's a $20,000 vehicle, that's going to put you at $16,000. So you have to put $4,000 down. Most people that get an 80% approval don't have a 20% to put down on a vehicle. So that puts it in perspective of, well, if you have the right car, then you could do it. No, there's not a right car for that. It's a matter of them saying, okay, we're going to put ourselves as the lending institution in prime position, just in case anything was to happen in the vehicles to come back to us. We could send it to auction and recoup our investment on it without having to worry about taking a huge loss. But what it does with the dealer is that we have to be the ones to explain the way the math actually works.
Right.
Like Tony was saying, you need at least 100%, because just think about it this way: you buy a vehicle at a negotiated price, less than retail, because most of the time we negotiate on most vehicles. We can't discount our vehicle or pretty much any vehicle that amount in order to make it to that call. It doesn't happen. There's not that much markup in those cars. So by us doing that, they go to the next dealer. The next dealer tells them the same thing, and the next dealer, and the next dealer. Instead of saying, okay, let's call the credit union, get that 100% in addition to the money that you have down. Because if you finance 100%, you still have taxes, title, license, documentary fees. All of those things are legal fees and things that you have to pay for whenever you purchase a vehicle. I have to pay for. So that's the caveat of getting a pre-approval. That is what we know as a left-handed turn down, or a minimalist approval. If you have the $4,000 to put down and you can find a $20,000 vehicle, and we negotiate the price, and we can get close to making that work, then that's great. But most people that get a 75, 80, 85% call,
it ain't gonna work.
They don't have that type of money to put down on a vehicle. They don't have that type of money in most cases, period.
No. That's why I just tell people at my desk, look, they basically told you no. They just didn't want to tell you no.
Without
they want me to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
So I'm be the bad guy.
Yeah. And, it's not a matter of being the bad guy. It's just a matter of, like Tony said, this program is about educated people.
Right.
It's all about education.
Educating you how to purchase a car. Just like we have the show about how to buy a mortgage, how to buy a home. It's the same thing as buying a car. It takes, being with the right people that you can trust, and it's going to.
And this is real talk. This is real deal. We're not speaking as these spokespeople for Honda, for Mike Smith, for Group One, or for any particular franchise. It is a community service in order to help people to understand.
Yeah.
Because if I go to, I'm not a banker. If I go to a bank and I want to, invest in this IRA, I need to be educated on it. So you count on the people in the bank to educate you on whatever you're going to invest in, and that's what we're doing with the car buying experience.
And I'm a flip us back to the lease versus a purchase.
Yes.
Everybody cannot purchase, okay? I mean, and I'm sorry, everybody cannot lease.
Yeah. Right.
True. Qualification for leasing. Your credit score has to be 600 plus. Your mileage. And, that's another stigma about the mileage. And I want you to bring the mileage, because a lot of folks say, "Oh, I don't want it because I want to watch my miles, and I can't drive that." No. That was the old way things was done. And again, especially if you're buying a Honda, or I hate to say this, but a Toyota, those miles don't mean jack.
No.
Yeah. No, not really, because everything is based on a vehicle's value is based on years, miles, and condition.
That's right.
Okay, so if you put, say, 10, 15, 20,000 miles a year on a vehicle, the person that has 10,000 miles on their vehicle after a year, their vehicle is going to be valued at a higher amount than the person that puts 15,000 miles on a vehicle. It's a fair valuation. But going to the stigma of I can't do this, I drive too many miles. Think about it this way: whenever you finance in a vehicle, it still applies. The vehicle value is going to be based on years, miles, and condition. So instead of going into a long-term deal, unless you plan on keeping that car throughout that full term, you can still enter a lease, and at the end of your lease term, the only time that you would be charged for miles is if you hand the keys in, pay your disposition fee, and say, I'm done with this car in particular. If you trade the vehicle in, you're not going to be charged for miles. You would most probably have a little bit of negative equity. Now, Honda's negative equity, or being upside down, is not as severe as most other cars. But if you put, like I said earlier, more miles than you're supposed to, if you're purchasing or leasing, it's the same thing. So you could purchase it at the end of that 3 years. You can buy it, or trade it even within that 3 years. And that's another thing people don't realize. Even when you're within that lease, is the same. You can trade it in anywhere at any time, or you can walk away from it. But in most cases, what do?
We trade you.
We trade you out of it.
We'll call you in that year left.
Yeah. Because in most cases, they're if we see that they're going over their miles, we get them out of that vehicle, put them in another vehicle. They're in good standing, and in most cases, we can lower the payment or keep the payment the same, or upgrade you and have a minimal payment.
You're absolutely right. I mean, this is what we treat. We're just educating you on how to buy versus leasing. We're just on a car buying experience. We're telling you some things that we train to do. We are taught to do. We work every day studying on how to improve ourselves. But we're giving you that ammo right now because we don't want you to make the mistakes. We want you to make the right decisions because the car business already has a bad name for sake for the things we're doing that comes in it as a part-time thing. We do this full-time. We got both feet in this. This is our career. And it's got to be my career. I've been doing it as long as
we weren't even born yet.
But it's important to me because I do not want a client being not knowing what they're doing.
Make a bad decision. Absolutely. And this is not saying that financing or for the long term is a bad thing, because it's necessary. Vehicles are getting more expensive, and for the people that keep a vehicle for a long time, just like y'all know I do. I keep a vehicle for a long time, so a lease is not feasible for me because I keep my vehicles. Once I find something I like, I like it. I'm gonna stick with it.
Every 9 cars you have at
that's true. I have 5 kids. I mean, I have a lot of cars. For the people that have that buying cycle of every 3 years, and you don't drive a lot of miles, why would you spend more money on a vehicle in order to be upside down in that vehicle whenever you come back in that 3 years that you're going to come back in anyway, instead of leasing it, saving the money, and not being upside down at the end of that term? It's a smarter way to buy a car.
Really.
If you're going to keep trading.
And you know what I like so much about that is that when you're not buying the whole car.
No.
You're buying only half
3 years worth of it.
Years worth. And then in those 3 to 6 months, we're usually calling you within 28 months, 28 to 30 months. Yes.
That's when and a lot of people don't know this. You can get equity in a lease even if you don't put cash down. I've seen that a number of times.
That's right.
You're just making your regular payments.
That's right.
Keeping those miles down. You're doing everything the right way. You're rewarded for it. You didn't put $1,000 down, but then you come out with $1,000 equity, or even if it's $500, that's still money that you didn't have to invest anything extra in order to get.
Hey, free money.
That's it. It could be $2.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
That's it.
Now, that's people that buy other models, makes, and a lot of times, let me just tell you this: when you see a car that has a huge, or a truck or SUV that has a huge rebate,
trap.
Don't do it. I know you like it. I know you love it. The price was right.
Beautiful.
But
that's a beautiful thing. But
yes, yeah.
Well, the reason is because rebates take away from your resale value. So if you have a $5,000 rebate on a vehicle,
that's right.
Think about it this way: in January, they're not going to be a $5,000 rebate on anything.
Right.
Somebody buys that vehicle at $30,000 in January, and come March, April, May, there's a $5,000 rebate on it. Okay, so that person just paid $5,000 more than they were supposed to. So that's in addition to the depreciation on that vehicle. So now within that first year, 10, 12, you've seen $15,000 or $20,000 upside down. So the people don't realize it, and I know the premise of rebates, and they're an incentive is to get people in, is to make things more affordable.
Right.
But the way that it's taken off of the resale value of your vehicle is gonna hurt you in the end. It always does.
It's like a $20,000 depreciation. Soon you drive off the driveway, boom, you're gone.
You better ride that thing till the wheels fall off.
But
you're gonna have to.
I tell you this, and I want you all to know, and my viewers to know that again, I just want to take a little slight break and before we finish the show, is that Knowledge is Power is here with you every Sunday and Tuesday to educate you just on anything. And this is one of the part we're doing. We're talking about buying a car, how to buy a car, how to save money, how to buy, how to shop your interest rate, what type of financing we have. We've got all type. But when you get ready to buy that vehicle, boom, that's it. There he is.
Here with the boom.
Right there. No doubt about it. Give me a call anytime. Hey, but anyway, guys, I just had to blow that in on it. You guys on that. But
and then they gonna stop by my desk to hook up all that technology.
Yeah.
Hey, Come on over here. Hook this up for me. You've been paying his calls. You've been doing all of this stuff, right?
Technology is something else, though. That's why, I make everybody. I talk about my son all the time. He set me up with all this, but then he set me up, and he walked away from the job. And I've got to do everything.
Hey, but he taught you. He taught you.
Oh, man, that cat did me bad. But and then asked me for gas money in the morning. But anyway,
that's your job.
That's my job. Again, folks, you're watching our show every Sunday and Tuesday. Please share it with your friends and like the show. I'm also on Facebook Live. I have a Facebook page on Knowledge is Power podcast. Go in and like it and join it. It's more about education. You'll see posts of education, history, Black history, all types of history. And also we're on YouTube at Knowledge is Power Podcast Live on YouTube. So if you miss a show and you want to see a show, go to YouTube and you can search the show and you can find the show that you want to watch that you missed. So please join me every Sunday and Tuesday with Knowledge is Power. Tuesday. The day is Tuesday. Next Sunday, I will have the Black 100 Women with Miss Bobby Patterson, along with Cheryl Poche with the It Takes a Village. These two civic groups will be with us on Sunday at 7:30. So join us also on Sunday. And on Tuesday, I cannot think who the guest is going to be, but it's a super guest that's going to be with us on Tuesday. I would say the judge is going to be with me on Tuesday, following Tuesday. So please, Justin County Judge will be with us, and Justice of Peace is going to be with us on that Tuesday. So please join me at all times. Share my page, people. Share it, like it. And we are doing something here in Beaumont, Texas. We are doing something in Southeast Texas. Again, I'm with my guests, Anthony Wiltz, the sales manager of Mike Smith Honda, and Dustin Harris, salesperson there with us. That's with me this evening, and I'm not quite finished with you guys, so I'm going to ask you this question here. If I was a customer and I had a vehicle, and that vehicle was paid for, but I don't have a title to it, and let's see, and it was in two names, could I still trade that car?
Yes.
Yes, if you can get a hold of the person whose name is on with you, yes.
Yes, absolutely. And in most cases, that person is, if that person is no longer with us, if that person is deceased, you could get a death certificate And you can go and get the vehicle put in your name only, or you'll have that death certificate, bring it into the dealership. We'll get you to sign an affidavit of heirship. You sign the title, you sign your name. You can't sign for a person that's deceased. Give us the death certificate. We have to keep the original. And yes, you can trade that vehicle in if the vehicle's paid for or not. Even if it's not paid for, you can still, once you get that death certificate, if it's in both names, yeah, you can definitely trade it in.
Now, I had a comment on the customer saying that, how are the lenders making money when they sell us a used car and they're charging us 24% interest?
That's all their money.
They, baby, let me tell you something. They are making money.
Yeah.
They make money. When you bought that car, they made their money.
Yes, because a lot of things that people don't see is that they think that the interest, it just goes off into space. No, that interest goes into the pockets of the lender, be it a credit union, be it Honda, be it Santander, or any subprime, near prime, full prime lender. The reason they charge you interest is because they're lending you money. So it's like, okay, I'll lend you this $5,000 if you pay me back $500. So that's the money that they charge to let you borrow the money. So it goes to them.
All right, my last question, and this is my last question, is on a lease. So I have three options. I can trade it. I can turn it in, or I can buy it.
Yeah.
The reason why it's so good if you decide to buy it is that you're buying it at wholesale. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And your payments knock down the price of it.
Absolutely. Right. And you are going to buy that vehicle at a lower price than you would be able to find any other vehicle that's similar to it. Because we do it all the time. Whenever we're appraising vehicles, we're trying to get this vehicle at this particular price, but we can't. If we're on the auction, those vehicles go, and especially Hondas, because of the resale value of them and the demand for them, the price is going to be higher. So if you refinance that vehicle at the end of that term, you're getting it for $12,000, where everybody else is going to pay 14
grand for it.
14.5. Yes.
Right.
Right.
And you already know the previous owner. You
took care of it. Well, if you jacked it up, it's on you. But if you took care of it, you took care of it.
Yeah, right. But we have a great time at Mike Smith Honda, and we are the number one Honda dealer in the area, and we have great people. We got the chemistry is good, and
we have a family atmosphere.
Yeah, family atmosphere. It don't get loud till I get there, but we have a great time, and we help each other out. And we've got the best product on the market. I promise you, we do have the best product. Now, also, I want to also say that first-time buyers, we have a first-time buyer, true first-time buyer. We like to lease your vehicle on your first time to prove yourself, to get yourself established. But we also have incentivized rates of about, I guess, as low as 7%. So you're not paying the double-digit interest and all that, and without a co-signer. So make sure you understand that not all first-time buyers does not qualify. And I want to make sure you understand that. But 90% does, but that's 10% that's not going to qualify. The ROGs on your credit is not going to get you there. We want you to understand that if you are a ghost, when we call a ghost, that means you don't have no credit at all. You just peel paper. And you've been on the job, and you make it. And income has a lot to do with this as well.
Yeah, that shows stability.
Yeah, stability, and so that helps. And again, we do get true first-time buyers bought. They buying every day. They walking around, they ride around every day, and we have the best product. Honda wants them in new vehicles because they want to make sure they're covered on the warranty. And the good part about the 36 months term is that by the time you out of your 36 month term lease, when it's time for you to buy new tires and batteries and rotors and all that kind of stuff for a vehicle, you're in a brand new vehicle again. You're not really, all you're doing is paying for a vehicle. All you're doing is buying gas and maintaining
Yep.
all the
Paying
fuel.
your insurance and paying your note. Yes.
Mhm.
Lowest cost of ownership.
Right, right. So it is so good to be able to sell the right product. I am, I've sold a many type of vehicle. My first dealership that I purchased was a General Motors dealership, and everybody makes a good vehicle, but
Mhm.
Honda has really just blew my mind with the product and the quality of the car, the resale, the values, and all that good stuff. So
And the
it's
financing.
and financing. It's just great deal to
Mhm.
be with. So, uh, guys, I appreciate you joining me because I really want to. I've had a show twice a week and sometimes 3 times a week, and I've had everybody on the show but my guys. So I appreciate you
Yeah.
joining me tonight and kind of helping me educate my viewers, my followers on the buying process of a vehicle. And I thank you so much, Dustin and Anthony, for your
Appreciate you having us, man.
information.
Yeah, but
Tell them
before we go, I don't know if you mentioned it about leasing, but that gap coverage comes with them.
oh yeah, oh we got
Did not mention that. You're
yeah,
right.
I did
Yeah,
not.
Absolutely.
Gap comes as standard. It's
because with
included
how the
in your list.
flooding is around here,
Yes, Lord, you need
How
gap.
many people came in that flooded their vehicles that they didn't even pay for gap?
Right,
That
yeah,
Honda just ate that balance, ate that
right,
negative
right.
equity.
Every flood we had and every car that was damaged or totaled out. It's an automatic purchase. As long as you're in good standing with Honda, American Honda, you're good to go.
On a
And
brand new vehicle.
on a brand new
oh
vehicle.
yeah,
And
Yep.
I average at least 2 or 3 a month. And that our vehicle has been totaled out, and they are now in new vehicles with probably no money down. This is moving on because
Yep.
oh yeah.
gap insurance is covered.
Hey, little mama.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Come on, Harper, calm down.
You done hijacked the show.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, guys, I appreciate you so much for watching and for participating with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you a
All
lot.
right.
All right.
All right, brother.
See y'all
Later.
tomorrow.
See you,
Say bye, Harper.